Okay, so now we've taken the background out and we've got ourselves on this nice plain blue. I'm going to show you how we can use layers and all sorts of effects to pop ourselves into all sorts of cool places. Now to do this, we're going to go and import some more media. All I've done is I've gone and grabbed some of the stock footage that I've got and I'm going to pop it into this project now. Now I showed you how to do this already, but just in case you forgot, all you need to do is go to File and then Import Media. So it opens up the folder you're working on. Now I've already put a video clip and a couple of audio clips in here that I actually got from Video Blocks, which is one of my recommended resources. Or if you picked up the extra offer that I had, then you've got some stock footage in there as well. Now I'm just going to grab these. I want this one, and this one, and click Open. And this will pop that into my clip bin. Now you'll notice, because they're different sorts of file, they actually put them into different groups. You can actually change this if you want by right clicking and unchecking showing groups, which shows them all in a row like this, but I prefer to keep it right click so that I can see what the different types are. In this case I've got 2 audio files and I've got this extra video file along with the originals we had. Now all I need to do now is exactly the same as before and drag and drop in order to put them on my timeline and start working on them. But it's really important what order you put these in, as the top one will always be seen above the others. I'll show you what I mean. If I pop this video clip here just by clicking and dragging and dropping, and then I put the playhead to somewhere where it's being shown, because it's on the top, that's all you can see. Now if I just drag this to the beginning just so I know where it is, and then I select the clip with me on it and drag it to the top above this scene of a beach, you'll see that now I appear above the beach scene rather than behind it. This is because of the layer being on top of the other one. Now I'll select both of these and just drag those back down just so that they're in the right place again. Now if I hit play, really stoked to have you here, and I know you're going to learn a load of stuff. You can see that now it looks like I'm stood in front of it. Now there's all sorts of things you can do here with resizing. I can actually take this, remember how we get this to fit into our screen by choosing a lower level. Then I can make sure I haven't selected everything. At the moment I've got everything selected, so if I choose the resize now, you'll see it resizes everything. That's not what I want, so I'll just undo that with Control Z, or you can undo it with these buttons down here. And I'll deselect everything by clicking outside of the area, and then I will just click on myself. Now all I'm doing is resizing myself. I could also do that by selecting just the track down here. As you can see, by clicking on these, it selects the correct track. Now I'm going to resize myself slightly so I look like I fit into the background. So I'm going to say about there. Looking at the way the background footage has been shot, I think that's about the size I would be if I was in the foreground. Now use your judgment on this. Obviously you just want to make it look like you belong there. And now I'll move myself along onto the beach a bit more. And if we hit play just to check everything looks okay. There you go, that looks fine, apart from the fact it actually disappears. Now the reason for that is because the clip I've got there is only a certain amount of time. As you can see, it finishes before these clips finish. So what we're going to do now is I'm actually going to pop the whole clip with me on onto the second track so that I can pop this beach scene underneath myself. Now because it's a certain length, we can't drag it to make it longer as there's nothing to drag. So what we need to do is we need to copy it and then paste it on itself as many times as we need. Now this means we'll loop the background for as long as we need it to be there. So I'm just going to right click and copy, and then I'm just going to right click and paste. Now a lot of the time it will throw it on the wrong track, so all you need to do is just grab it, drag it down and put it there. And just keep doing this until you get to the point that you don't need it any longer. So now we can see that where it was blue before, if I just move that out of the way, I've just put that there and it's popped the beach scene in the background. Now this is why layers are so important, because without them we couldn't do this sort of thing where we're actually putting things on top of each other. Now let's make this even more realistic by adding some audio. Now we've got the audio already imported because we did it with the videos earlier. If I double click you can actually hear what each file is. So we've got 2 kind of beach lapping wave type scenarios going on. And you do exactly the same with these as you do with any other media. You just drag and drop it onto the timeline to edit it. So I'm just going to do that now. Pop that one there. And then go and grab the other one and pop that one there. Now what I can do, again, I can't drag it because it's only a certain length. So if I want it to go any further, I need to copy it. I'm just using Control and C this time, and then Control and V to pop it down. Do that a few times. Pop all them there, and then do the same with this one here. Again, I can't drag it, so I just select it, I copy it, and I paste it. And you keep doing this until you get to such a point. Now, if you know you want it to finish at a certain point, then you can hover over the end until it turns into the double arrows, and you can drag and drop it at the same point that this one finishes. So now if I double click somewhere inside the playhead area, just to get it inside where all the different effects are going on and the background is, and I hit play. Load of stuff on how to act on camera, but also how to set it all up and how to do all the editing. You can see that there's now a sound effect behind there. Now it may be a little bit loud at the moment, but I will cover audio in a different video, so I'm not going to do that here. As you can see, layers are very important, but it can get very busy very quick. So I'm going to show you something else you can do just to tidy up your timeline. Now, when you're working on lots of things, you'll have lots of edits, lots of layers, lots of cuts, lots of call outs, which we'll cover as well. All sorts of things that mean that you've got a lot of stuff going on. Now, what you can actually do is use groups when you're using these things, and these are very simple to use and really tidy it up. First, let me zoom out so you can see exactly what we're looking at. Now, as you can see, I've only messed around with the backgrounds and the sound effects on this first bit here. If you were doing this for real, then you'd probably go all the way to the end. So you can imagine there'd be lots and lots of different cuts and different parts. Now, what you can do is you can drag and highlight the things you want to be in a group. So let's say we want a sound effect group. So I can drag and select all of these and then right click and click group, and it turns it into one line. Now you can also hit Ctrl and G if you wanted to on your keyboard. Now they've disappeared for now, but if you ever need to work on them at all, there's a little plus sign at the top here. You literally click this and it pops back out to exactly how it was. Click the minus and it pops back down. Now you can also do groups within groups. So let's just, for completeness, turn the background into a group and then turn this main part into a group. We've only got 2 cuts, but you can imagine if you've got lots and lots of cuts and lots of call outs and things, you could group all these together. So we'll group those. Now we've got 3 groups which we can actually rename by just double clicking and then naming it whatever we want. So for this we'll call it background and hit return. Now you do the same with these. We can do main and then sound effects. Double click, type the name you want and hit return. Now you can see these are really nicely labelled and we can see what's going on. Now what you can do is actually select all 3 groups and group these again and turn this into our main composition, or whatever you want to call it for your reference. And now we have it really neat and tidy. But the thing is, if we want to work on any of it, all we've got to do is click the plus button and it all pops back out again. So that means we can go in and change all sorts of things that we want in our composition, but without it looking really messy and really busy on our timeline. It's a great way to stay organised while you're working on big projects, or if you've got lots and lots of different edits and sound effects going on, especially when we get into adding all sorts of call outs and special effects. So keep a tidy timeline and you'll find you get a lot more done a lot faster. And I'll speak to you in the next video.